Hello everyone, Malibu Sean Bateman here today, and well, this is a very, very, very extreme episode of the movie Galleria because I want to talk about ECW's One Night Stand from June 12th, 2005, and a little backstory on ECW. Well, back in the mid-90s, there was two big groups in pro wrestling. WWE out of Stamford, Connecticut, and WCW out of Atlanta. And some of the fans were getting tired of the same old cartoony wrestling that the two companies out are shilling out in the early 90s. They need something counter to that. Something gritty. Something awesome. Something a little too extreme. Out of Philadelphia rose Extreme Championship Wrestling. Before it was known as Extreme Championship Wrestling, it was known as Eastern Championship Wrestling. And before that was Tri-State Wrestling based out of Philadelphia. And there was a tournament to find out who's going to be the new NWA World Champion at the time. It was won by Shane Douglas. He threw down the NWA title and he christened himself the first ever Extreme Championship Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. And then after that, all the violence happened and all the hardcore wrestling. What you'll never see in the WWE at the time. It's like what you see in Japan for the hardcore wrestling, the violence. There was weapon wrestling. There was actually great hardcore wrestling that wasn't more of the lucha, which is Mexican wrestling, more the Japanese heart-hitting style, the shoot wrestling. And in the hardcore style, the ones with the weapons, hell, there was, if it was boiled down, it was a weapon. If it was in the back, it'll come out to be used. Hell, they had fans bring the weapons matches. They had barbed wire matches, and after one match, they scrapped having barbed wire matches because of no one can outdo that one match. And there was a nice way that WCW talent that got fired, and the WWE talent who then got fired or couldn't resign, they can go through ECW to actually not compete against the other company before going to the other company. And hell, Steve Austin dropped by for a few months. Mick Foley dropped by before going to WWE. The Steiner brothers went from WWE to ECW, then back to WCW, and hell, and some legends have actually dropped by ECW to help them out, from Terry Funk, and even Dusty Rhodes dropped by, but Ladder actually helped out, just appeared in the last couple years to help out. And at one time, new owner of the NWA, Billy Corgan, dropped by to help out. And this event, ECW's One Night Stand, it's a reunion to show that it was saying thank you to ECW fans. And the build-up for this event is that Paul Heyman came out to the ring when Vince McMahon and Eric Bischoff were in the ring, and they were gonna start a little war. The anti-ECW Crusaders from Raw and SmackDown were gonna invade this event, and which had happened. And during this event, At the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, there were 5 matches total in this event. Actually, that was booked, but there was actually 6. There was one impromptu match, and the matches were Lance Storm versus Chris Jericho in a technical match. 2 friends going at it in the middle of the ring. It was a good opener for the match. Then we had some more matches like Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis. And actually, I think there's. I forgot. Okay, maybe I forgot about maybe 7 matches. This list is on the back of here. Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis, an extreme lucha action, which is good for if you're a big fan of lucha wrestling. Then there was a 3-way dance, which is a triple threat match, but a single elimination match involving Little Guido of the FBI, or the full-blooded Italians, Tajiri with Sinister Minister and Mikey Ripwreck, and the Insane Luchador Super Crazy. Yeah, and that was a crazy fun match to watch, hands down. Another technical match between 2 friends, and the late Eddie Guerrero and the late Chris Benoit. And the main event was Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman versus Bubba and Devon Dudley. And it was one hell of a match. And that match was what ECW for the violence was. And if there was violence, there was a burning table, bloodshed. And during the course of the event, there was two matches that's not booked on here, says on the back here. One match was Masaru Tanaka versus Mike Awesome, as part of their rivalry since their dates in Japan. And there was an impromptu match between Sabu and Rhino. It was a mediocre match, but it was a decent match to help fill out the event. During the event, Paul Heyman came out from the back and he said thank you to the fans, and then he started going off on the anti-ECW Crusaders, and that kind of work shoot was awesome. He was voicing what the fans wanted to say, because it was actually the voice at that moment was the voice of the people who love ECW. At the end of the event, Stone Cold Steve Austin came out to help have a little beer bash with the ECW alumni. Then he said to the anti-ECW alumni, anti-ECW Crusaders to get their asses down so they can have a fight. And there was one hell of a fight. And there was a kind of a mock trial when Eric Bischoff was the only one left, and it was kind of almost like a public execution for the ECW faithful. The commentary was done by Joey Styles, who was the ECW commentator for their pay-per-views, their televised events, and his his color commentary expert was none other than ECW alumni, the hardcore icon Mick Foley. And this event is how you should do a reunion for a company. Granted, it's a WWE event, but this is how you do it right. Sadly, the only grade for this is down on the bottom. TV-14. ECW should have been R-rated for the violence, but it was a WWE event, so we have to keep it for the WWE. I highly recommend this DVD, and this is a lot better than Hardcore Homecoming, which happened the night before this event. And to me, this movie is this event is worth it. If you don't know about ECW, and if you're just seeing just small clips here and there, pick this up. Then it'll show you what ECW was all about, and then hunt down the old ECW events. And this is Malibu Sean Bateman, signing off.